Christine Quinn gained notoriety on selling Sunset by presenting opulent dream homes, but her personal life was becoming a living hell behind closed doors. Us Weekly can exclusively reveal that, in the last 5 years, the Los Angeles Police Department has received 18 emergency calls regarding alleged incidents at the home of Quinn's husband, Christian Richard, real name Christian Dumontet, who was recently arrested following an alleged domestic violence incident. These calls were made in response to recently obtained police records. Calls started to come in a month after the 35-year-old reality actress and 44-year-old software entrepreneur married. The marriage in December 2019 when they bought the $5 million property. While some occurrences concerned trespassing and potential burglary and false alarms, others were more concerning. A verbal argument was reported to police in August 2019 at 10:45 p.m., and a concerned, anonymous caller contacted police about a possible argument at the residence in August 2020 shortly after 10 p.m. Additionally, there was another reported verbal altercation in November 2022 in the wee hours of the morning, just after 1 in the morning. Records show that no offenses were committed. Additionally, according to records, an unidentified individual was taken to a hospital following a 911 call that was placed to police in June 2019 at 2:39 p.m. A similar occurrence occurred in May 2022 at 9:36 p.m., when an unidentified male was taken to the hospital following an emergency call. Records show that a woman was suffering from a panic attack and that there was no evidence of an overdose 5 months later. The most recent occurrence, according to the records, included the arrest of an unidentified individual on March 19 of this year for assault with a deadly weapon, with a suspected head and neck injury. Additionally, 2 calls for restraining order violations were received the following day during the course of 2 hours, which resulted in another arrest. Near midnight on March 26, a call for officers to stand by during collection of belongings at the residence was received by police dispatch. A source tells us that Christine always had to walk on eggshells around him. The insider continued, Christine always had to keep things hidden from him to avoid scary arguments. She always had to keep secrets from him in order to protect herself. Over the years, they have engaged in aggressive fights that were concerning. Quinn recently received a temporary restraining order against her estranged husband, Richard, which mandates that he vacate their joint residence and keep a minimum of 100 yards between them, as reported by Us. Richard is also prohibited from interacting with the couple's 2 dogs, Bubby and Teddy, or their almost 3-year-old kid, Christian, according to the interim restraining order. The hearing for a restraining order has been set for April 17. TMZ claimed that during his initial arrest, he struck the couple's son with a glass bag after trying to hurl it at Quinn, as police led him out of the house while he was still wearing his bathrobe. After the incident, a temporary restraining order was automatically placed. Less than 24 hours later, Richard was detained once more for breaking the order by going back to the house. Quinn is planning on leaving Christian and filing for divorce, an exclusive insider told us following the alleged domestic abuse incident. In response to Quinn's charges, Richard filed for his own restraining order on March 26. He stated that he confronted the Netflix actress because their dogs had urinated on his possessions. Richard said Quinn hurled a garbage bag at the wall rather than his wife, even though he saw Quinn tidying up the mess. Richard refuted Quinn's assertions, saying that the bag included paper towels and rags rather than glass. According to Richard's documents, Quinn took the toddler and them to a different room before she phoned the police, despite his attempts to remove their kid from the situation. Days before his arrest, Quinn claimed in her own court documents that Richard had thrown dog feces at her during another dispute, during which he had also thrown flowers on the ground and urinated on the floor. She then locked him out of the house and slept in their master bedroom with her son. Quinn accused Richard of staging a suicide attempt in September 2023 in order to see if I cared about him, among other things. Christian became angry at me, questioning why I needed to work, asserting that he was providing for everything, she stated in her March restraining order request. I observed Christian that evening in our hotel room as he appeared to thrust pills into his mouth, sending them flying from his hands and onto the floor, and he told me he was dying. She went on, I was scared for what felt like an hour while Christian kept appearing to be in and out of consciousness, but then he came back to sober and said, "You passed the test, you really do love me." Quinn felt controlled by Christian their whole relationship, according to another source who spoke with us exclusively in March, and she has felt unsafe for a while. It has been toxic for several months, and Christine has been in distress, the insider continued. They both have restraining orders and cannot agree on plans for their son, so they have a long and unpleasant road ahead of them. Quinn did not reply to a message from us weekly seeking comment. We received a statement from Alexandra Kazarian of Garagos and Garagos, Richard's legal representative. Christine's persistent paranoid and blatantly false accusations are baseless. Domestic violence events have not occurred. Christian has proactively filed for a restraining order as well as other legal actions to address these ongoing difficulties. He seeks a final and legal resolution to these issues today by filing for divorce, marking a decisive step forward.